Hikaru, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, interesting match to put it mildly, but yeah, I found a way to win.
Yeah, we were just talking about this moment in game one where no clue what happened before, but Magnus had a perpetual. Then he went instead of queen g3 for this move g3. What did you think about the game?
Yeah, well, I mean, the funny thing about this is that first of all, I thought that I didn't actually see that he could play g3, so I thought it was going to be just a repetition, and then I saw g3 and I panicked because I didn't realize that it covered the d7 square actually. But yeah, somehow after g3 knight f3, I think maybe black's already losing because I mean the structure because of where the pawns are. I think it's very problematic. So I mean, it was a pretty wild game. But yeah, I found a way to win. I mean, I think there was a win a couple moves earlier because in between games I was talking to my second. He said something about some rook d8 or something, like rook d8, rook d5 after queen d4, like something completely insane.
What is that? Here rook d8.
Yeah, like some rook d8, what, like queen c4 and rook d5 or something. I mean, something completely insane like this. And I think I think this is supposed to be winning for black, but again, like in a Raptor or Blitz game, I mean, it's completely insane to expect someone to find this.
Yeah, we were just shocked. Magnus, with so little time on the clock, went for this g3. But okay, if you think it's winning, of course you go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he didn't realize. I think he assumed there was something after knight f3 g2 that there's some way you can win material or win the game. Because obviously it was from a practical standpoint, if it doesn't work, you're just gonna lose the game. So yeah, I mean, I was a little bit lucky perhaps to win that game, but still, I'll take it.
Do you see here that it's more than a perpetual?
Well, see, the thing is, I realized immediately there was a perpetual, and then the more I started thinking, I was like, but again, maybe I can use the bishop because the king can't castle. And yeah, at first glance, when Magnus played queen f3, I wasn't 100% sure, but I worked it through pretty quickly that bishop b4. I mean, there are no checks with the queen, so it's just like literally only calculating like king d7 and c5, and yeah, the tactics seem to work in my favor.
Yep. Then game number. Is this game number 2? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, game number 2 was a complete mess. I mean, also a game that I think could have been 3 results at many different moments. So yeah, so h4, c6.
Here he thought for a long time, no? h4 and then takes, I guess, was not the plan.
Well, I mean, I assume he wanted to go bishop c4, and I haven't looked yet, but I have no idea what's going on. I think bishop c4, d5, ed5, and I think I was actually gonna take the bishop, but I mean, again, this is very, very complicated. I think considering the match situation, it's very hard to play this because again, if Magnus is right, he's probably winning here, but if he's wrong, he's just going to lose the game and essentially lose the match. So yeah, it was a critical moment. I think he used too much time because later on, he probably was worse. I mean, he definitely was worse when he was down the 2 pawns, I think. At some point, like after fg6, but again, it's these positions were so hard to play, I think, for both sides. Like somewhere around here, I think black is probably better, and maybe in a slow game you can find the optimal setup, but in a rapid and a blitz game, it's extremely difficult to play. So yeah, I mean, it was a very wild game.
One moment later on, I forgot where he went some rook d2 and was shaking his head. We were wondering, was that a mouse slip, or do you know what
why would that be a mouse slip, actually? To me, it seemed like a very natural move. I think maybe he was upset because he saw that he could have gone rook d5, maybe. Yeah, I thought
he wanted to go rook d5 or rook e5 and something slipped, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to go rook d2 instead of rook d5, though. I mean, there's a significant amount of space between the squares. But no, I think he went rook d2, and then he realized he could have gone rook d5 or rook e5 to win the pawn and essentially win the game. But yeah, and then I mean, this was also crazy because when I played rook h1, I think we both miscalculated this line here. Like on first glance, when I went rook g1, the idea was bishop h5, and I was going to go rook f5, and then in like the half second, I saw that he can go bishop e8 to a4, and very fortunately, I have this g6 move, which saves the game. So yeah, I mean, very, very, very wild game.
Peter, your bishop e8. You were right.
Yeah, I mean, I felt immediately that this was very important, for the game. And
yeah, I mean, because that's
Hikaru.
Oh, thanks, Peter. Thanks. But yeah, so I saw this, and then I was very lucky that like in the 5 seconds when I decide, I saw G6 when I realized there's Bishop E8. I mean, it's very lucky. I didn't see this, but it's a very nice tactic that works and saves the game.
Yep. Then, yeah, I guess not much happening in game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think games 3 and 4 were actually pretty mild compared to the first 2 games. Game 3 was nothing. Game 4, I mean, I thought was quite interesting, but I got a kind of position where, again, I was able to simply just make a lot of quick moves without thinking too much, and put the pressure on Magnus on the clock, especially.
Yeah, we were arguing here about b4 because it allows some significant simplifications, and we weren't sure if that was enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's not so easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one thing that Magnus does very well, though, is he's very good at calculating sort of structures. Like in the long run, I found the right moves to sort of neutralize this positional idea that he wanted to go b4, put a pawn on b4, and then sort of trade into some kind of end game. So I played it quite well, but I think fundamentally it was a good idea. It just doesn't. I think I'm just a little bit too quick here on the queen side, and I mean, even here, I think probably I wasn't precise. I think maybe rook a4 is cleaner. Because rook a4, I thought rook a4, b5, maybe just queen b4, and it's actually a lot cleaner. Because he loses d4 here.
What's the difference? He can't go queen d1.
Yeah, see, this was the problem. Was when I played rook b3, I realized that if I had gone rook a4, I would have taken the pawn. I mean, it's still okay, but I think rook a4 would have avoided any potential drama later in the game. So yeah.
Did you ever feel like you were close to a loss, or do you see chances for him somewhere here?
No, I mean, I thought I actually miss that he could play this bishop a4, and if I go bishop b5, he gets this. He can trade and go f5. This was the only slight mistake that I made in my calculation. Because I think this endgame is winning for white. If I go into the pawns, because I think the white pawn gets he gets a pawn to g6, and I'm pretty sure this is losing. No, you have to go king d4 first, of course, because you need the pawn stopped on the 4th rank, and then. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this isn't what h5. Maybe this is actually just a draw because g4 I can take and go g6 anyway.
We didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's
like a draw. No, yeah.
Yeah, this is a draw. But again, it's like, why do you want to go for this when, again, if you're 100% wrong, you're going to lose. And I knew that when I took on e5 and went bishop b5, maybe white is better, but it should very much be within the realm of a draw. And then, yeah, I thought every move I played here was basically perfect. Bishop a5, very important move to put pressure on the dark square pawns, very thematic. I thought c5 was also a very good move. And I mean, I basically thought once I found bishop a5, I think every move I played was perfect. Yeah. So it was, yeah, it was a good way to finish the match.
Yeah. So big 3rd match coming up tomorrow. Switch of topics. We are talking about the heritage of US chess today. And you've been around US chess for a while. How do you feel it's changed over the last, let's say, 20 years even, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are many things that have changed in terms of the chess scene. Obviously, the last 10 years have seen the biggest change due to the sponsorship in St. Louis, in particular Rex and Jeannie Sinkfield, and the amount of money they put into chess in St. Louis. So in the last 10 years, that's been the big thing that's driving it is all the different chess events and all the chess promotions that are going on in St. Louis specifically. But also beyond that, I think it's amazing to see that there are a lot of tournaments for norms, especially international master and grandmaster norms, where you can play in many different places like Chicago. I think there are tournaments in North Carolina as well. Whereas when I was very young, I had to go to Peter's home country, Hungary, and play in the first Saturday tournaments to try and make norms. So I think in terms of professional chess, it's really changed a lot. I think it's all going in the right direction. And I'm just glad that I'm still up there playing with top guys, trying to inspire the youngsters and having a good time.
Hikaru, congratulations on that incredible performance in a must-win match situations. I want to ask you that after yesterday's tough day, what adjustments did you make coming to the match today?
I basically didn't think about it. I decided to stream and clear my head and have a good time and just not think about it. That's what I did. I mean, I didn't do anything special. Obviously, I reviewed some stuff, but mainly it was just to keep my head clear and not really not let sort of the negativity affect me. And I thought today, certainly the first game was quite shaky and it all could have gone wrong, but I was very proud of myself for the way that I held it together, even if objectively Magnus came with some very strong ideas in the opening. And yeah, I was very happy throughout that I really kept it. I stayed relatively calm. I didn't panic too much, and I followed the game plan, which was really just to try and put pressure on the clock and get into positions that were messy. And I think it worked today.
Yeah, very impressive. I mean, from a psychological point of view, as well as how you handled it over the board. Now, do you think streaming or just getting your mind off the way things have been is what works for you, rather than going too deep into what went wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I of course I've had plenty of experience with this because I've lost to Magnus more than my fair share of times. So I'm quite familiar with it. I guess in general, what I would say is that, especially in relation to Magnus, when I've lost a fair chunk of my games, it's been to him playing well and me not really playing fantastically as well. So when that happens in a situation where your opponent is just better than you, I think it's a lot easier to just forget about it. Whereas, for example, let's say, okay, if we look at yesterday, I'll give you an example. So in game 2, I probably was winning in the opening around like move 15, move 16. If you go really deep with the computer engines, oh, you even have the games. But anyway, after this position without C3, it's probably very close to winning. So I'll give you an example. If you take this game 2 and you were from yesterday, and you were to say that was game 1 yesterday, I lose that game and I lose with black, and the whole thing goes up in flames. I think it would have been really hard to deal with it, because when you play well and then you miss like 1 or 2 moves, then you feel really bad about it. But for me, when your opponent's just better than you, I think it's very easy just to be, okay, he was better than me, clear your head, don't think too much, and just focus on the next day. And so for me, I think it was actually in a way good that the match wasn't super close yesterday, because it let me sort of just clear my head and not really worry too much.
That's some really good advice. And I have to say, personally, for me, I've always felt that you are extremely honest in the way you answer questions and what you say. So I have to put you on a spot and ask you my last question. Before the match yesterday, you wished Magnus good luck on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
What was all that about?
I mean, that was just a general tweak, because I think whoever wins this match is probably the big favorite to win the tournament. I know there are a lot of people who are basically like, they're trying to say, oh, I'm like trolling him or this or that, but I really do feel that this match, I mean, okay, whoever wins this match tomorrow, there is a chance we could still lose to Daniil, because he's obviously a very dangerous player. But I think many of the fans really feel like this should be a final in most cases. So I just think, I mean, it's fun to play him. I think one of us is going to be the favorite in the final, and there's really nothing more to it. So I know there are people who want to say, oh, I'm trolling, but it was just a general tweet. There was nothing. I mean, there's no intention behind it.
Right, well, it's always a pleasure to watch you play, and we're all looking forward to your third match tomorrow. Good luck.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Hikaru.
Yeah, thanks.
Oof. The drama continues tomorrow with the two giants of rapid chess in basketball we would call game 7, but in chess it's a match 3 situation. The winner advances to the finals to face Daniil Dubov.